Hey, besties.
Hey,
Welcome back to another episode of the Hello Bestie podcast. I'm Maggie.
I'm Tashima.
It's our anniversary. It's our anniversary.
I don't know what that move was. That was so
It's all right. It's all right.
terrible.
We're just vibing. It's okay. So, guys, it's an exciting day for us. We are celebrating our 1-year anniversary.
Yep.
It's our Halloween Carnival. And we have a book club episode too, tied into one.
We have a lot going on today.
It's a lot going on. So thank you guys for holding it down with us for a year.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
It's been awesome. It's been a journey. We've had fun doing it.
Absolutely.
Hasn't been the easiest journey. We've learned a lot along the way.
Yeah. And it doesn't feel like a year either.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that off camera. The year really has flown by.
It has for sure.
Yeah.
So thank you guys. If you've been hanging with us the whole time, we appreciate you. If you're newcomers, we appreciate you too. We just had a replay of our first Halloween Carnival, our very first episode a couple of weeks ago. So be sure to check that out if you haven't. We have some fun Halloween stuff in store for you guys. Halloween is Tashima's favorite holiday.
My absolute favorite.
It is my second favorite, very close second to Christmas. So we are, we are wigging out right now and having a good time. We are going to toast our anniversary.
So what is this?
So this is a Witches Brew.
Okay.
I found this recipe on Pinterest. I hope Tashima likes it. So I'll post the recipe, but it is vodka, blue carousel, grenadine, and Sprite. So very simple.
Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
It's good.
Yeah, it's all right.
It's not heavy.
It's not at all.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, I went easy
Is
on the
this
liquor
gonna
for you.
Oh, okay.
I don't know if it's a slow creeper. I guess that remains to be
Okay.
seen. I started a little
like,
before Tashima, so.
Tastes like
juice? Yeah.
soda. It really tastes like soda.
It does. I put more Sprite in yours too. Yeah.
Why are you cheaping on the booze?
I mean, still momming after this, so.
I mean, yeah, but.
You got enough liquor in there, trust me. It's at least half a glass, so it might be a slow creep. We'll see how we react towards the end of this episode. Stick around.
I slumped in the corner for real.
Okay, so we have some fun things planned, but first things first, we will jump into our book club chat. So we read episode 13, written by Craig DiLouie. It is a thriller about, what was it, like a live TV crew, a TV show called Fade to Black. It's a reality show, and they basically went to a house, a very popular haunted house, and it just details their time there and what happened. So Tima has her reading journal out. I'm going to grab mine out as well, because I did take a few notes. But for starters, on a scale of 1 to 5 stars, how many stars would you give episode 13?
So based on our book, it's a few categories. So for enjoyment, I gave it 3 stars. Ease of reading, 5. It was an easy. We listened to it. It was a very easy listen, and I can only imagine that it would be an even easier read. And then my overall rating was like 3 stars, 2.5.
Yeah.
I wasn't in love with it. Okay. It was entertaining. Needless to say. It was very entertaining. There was parts where I laughed. There was a few parts where I held my breath, because it was a little suspenseful, and you kind of didn't know what to expect. And the details, the imagery, like all of that stuff, I think was, like, the book itself is great. It, in terms of what I think I was expecting to be a little more frightened, or I don't know. I guess I thought that it would be, it felt a little more like a satire.
Sure. Yeah, I agree with that. I would also give it 3 stars. I actually had pretty much the same with you, except for ease of reading, I put a 4. Just because I felt like it didn't align like I felt like it should. I had to kind of go back and remember, and there were little details that I feel like I had to re-listen to a couple of times just so.
That is true.
Wait, what is this? So I gave it a 4 for that. So the things that I liked about it, I like the reality TV show aspect of it. I thought that was cool. Like, this is a ghost hunting show. They're going to go to this haunted house and check out what it is. I thought that there was good character development. I can't say that I particularly liked all of the characters, but I think that they were developed well.
Yeah.
I like the husband and wife dynamic of the husband is like super into ghost hunting, really believes in ghosts, and his wife, who is basically like a debunker on the show. That's her role on the show because she's very scientific of trying to find a reason for everything that they have. And then they had an actor that was on there too, which I guess all ghost hunting shows have that. I don't know, but I thought that was kind of...
Everybody has a role to play.
Yeah, but I thought that her... And the things that I laughed at were her writing her sister and her texting her sister. Like, they had this thread going of like hunting ghosts with crazy white people.
Yeah, it was very entertaining. Yeah. There was a lot of stuff that made me laugh, just in general. But I thought the character development was great as well. Like, everybody made sense. Mm-hmm. There wasn't anybody who felt like they were out of place. Right. There wasn't anybody who felt like they were just doing the absolute most inappropriately. Right. Like, the personalities, I have to imagine that these personalities are actually based off of real people. Mm-hmm. Because they were very accurate. Like, you just could see these people in real life.
Right. I agree.
Like, you know these people.
I agree.
You work with them.
I wanted to be more afraid. I had this like tension within myself because I was really nervous to read it. I've never read a horror book before. And I was kind of like, oh shit, how am I going to deal with this? How am I going to finish it? Because I'm afraid to watch horror movies. So to sit there and read something, I didn't know how I was going to handle it. And I was partly relieved that it wasn't scary, but at the same time I was disappointed because it was like, man, I was really hoping to kind of, be a little more afraid. I
thought I would lose sleep. Mm-hmm. I thought I was going to read something. But again, when we are picking these books, and I guess it's a good and a bad thing. Not every book that we come across are we going to love. Right. We don't do research into these books. Mm-hmm. We just kind of maybe read a description, maybe not. Right. You hear a review and somebody's like, oh, this book is amazing. And then you get the book and then you're like, not quite for me. Mm-hmm. And that's how I felt about this book. Right. I really thought that there are other books that I think are in the suspense category, like Verity. Mm-hmm. Like, psychologically, I was on the edge of my seat. Right. And there were moments in that book that I felt like paranoid in wherever I was at that time. Right. But this didn't give me that. Like, I think because of the parts that made me laugh, I didn't take it as seriously. Sure. Because I've seen reviews where people are saying this is one of the scariest books that they've ever read.
I've seen chilling and spine tingling. And
I didn't get that. Now, I will say that the part where in the very beginning, when the monster kind of comes out like for the very first time, and no, before that, like in the very beginning when Rashida was like, I'm done. Oh, okay. Like, done. Mm-hmm. I am not going back in that house. When they all left, and the stairs were coming apart and all of that stuff, that kind of had me on the edge of my seat because I wasn't expecting that. Mm-hmm. Like, when they start describing the song that's playing and like all of that, I kind of felt like, oh snap. But then there were things that were happening after that. I was like, come on, y'all. Like,
yeah. I did think the imagery was good. You felt like you were there. And you could imagine going through a house and hearing the this.
Temperature changes. Yep. Mm-hmm. So I guess I didn't realize that it was more paranormal than like horror.
Facts. Same.
So, like the hand and like the touching of the hand and all of that stuff. And even Rashida going back, I was just like, why, sis? Like, this is why we can never make it to the end of anything. Right. Like, you should just love what you're supposed to. Mm-hmm. So I wrote, character development was slightly annoying. I guess I didn't. Like, I was annoyed with some of the characters, but facts. Like as people.
I couldn't stand Kevin. Yes. But he was classic cop that, yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But got better with time, a little stereotypical, some suspenseful moments, but felt a little long on details about scientists and short on actual paranormal activity. It just fell flat for me, but wasn't terrible, almost comical. The end was BS.
Yeah, it was. I put for a like that I can actually say that I read like a horror book because this falls in that category, but I feel like this is a cheating, I feel like, just to call it that.
We're gonna have to do another one.
The dislikes, so you and I joked about this, the male narrators, they just sounded like they were trying to, like the clip from Parks and Recreation. It just, I don't know. If the words are scary enough, I don't think that you need to do that with your voice.
Yeah.
It just came off as they were trying too hard. And I also put ending. I didn't appreciate the ending. Like Rashida comes out and these people are like at a hotel swimming pool and she just screams. That felt very...
It was so...
It's almost like you didn't want to kill off the black girl, but this is the best thing that you could come up with.
Exactly. I actually wrote, there was a part higher up where I said, finally, black girl making it to the end. And then I was like, wow, this is how we make it to the end.
Right. Right. And what was weird too was, you know, like the voices and stuff. So the voice of the camera guy, Jake, that had gotten killed, was like, oh, you shot me, bro, and this and that. I was doing that with Kevin. And her son she was walking with her son. She could hear her son's voice or whatever. So I'm like, was that real or was that fake? Was that really her son?
No.
Then...
It was all basic, like, in her head.
Oh, okay.
Just like he saw his dad and, you know, like everybody started getting exposed to their fears. So that basically was just like...
See, I thought that was the ghost messing with them and trying to lure them around.
I mean, not ghosts, it's paranormal activity. Yeah. So it's just like energy creating whatever it is, like your fear. Like she didn't want to lose her son and, you know, he was afraid of his dad. I guess that's how I took it. So it made me very sad when she wanted to leave and then couldn't. Yeah. Like that part, I was just I felt devastated. Yeah. That she went down there. I was really, so favorite quotes, I wrote the part where they described she ate her fingers like they were nothing but potato chips. I said, WTF. The fear of not knowing is worse than dying. I forget the wife's name, but Claire. She had said that. I didn't like her. And at the end of the book, what did I write?
Everybody died because of her, basically.
Yeah, I wrote, Claire's selfish AF. They all died because she was selfish. Right. Like, you decided to get up. And I had a feeling that this was going to happen when she kept having the dream. And she was like, I know what you're thinking, that I chose this, but I chose my husband every single time when she had to make a choice. Right. But the only time she actually got out of whatever she was in was when she didn't choose her husband. And then in the end, she didn't choose her husband.
Yeah. You know what I didn't like about that? So there's a lot that I didn't like about that. I pretty much said all my notes, so I'm just going to put this over here. So something that I found unrealistic about the book was how they kept writing their journals. It's like, okay, cool. Like, have a journal about it. That makes sense. You're in you're in a paranormal house. You're documenting your experience there. Right. Claire's last entry. So you're still writing in your journal, Claire? You don't have any eyes to cry with. You don't have any hands. You don't have any, and you're just how? Yeah. I thought that was really strange. And then how she consumed his energy, how he died. I don't know. I was just very disgusted with her.
I'm doing you a favor. What?
Yeah. Like, and it's basically like, you got to let go. And he's like, what? Let go? And he loved her. He doted on her constantly.
She was so selfish. I was very annoyed with her. I said, hoping for a black girl final girl moment. And then I was like, how did the debunker become the sole survivor? Annoying.
It was weird when they said that she actually disintegrated and they could see that on camera. It's like, Claire, she just disintegrated into nothing. And then the next thing was like
energy.
When I died, it's like, okay, so that's it for you now. You know what was weird to me? The whole Kevin thing. So I felt like it was sad the way that Jake died. trying to help Kevin. And then there was a comment made in there saying like he doesn't have any family, any close friends. So like if I die, there's really no one that's going to miss me, which the whole thing that's sad about death is that you leave people behind. So on the one hand, it was like, well, I guess if somebody's going to die, it's okay that it's the guy that he's not leaving anyone behind. But then it was also like, damn, bro, like nobody would care if you died. That's wow.
Yeah. It was very that part was so predictable. Like the moment he went in there and he was like, yeah, I got my piece. I was like, okay. And then when he started shooting the glass, I said, it's just a matter of time before he shoots somebody that he's not supposed to. What I guess I wasn't expecting is that he was going to turn into the bad guy. Yeah. That I didn't expect. But, I mean, you know, rightfully so when you're literally losing your mind.
Right. Oh, I didn't like the police report after he killed Jake. Like the very next thing, him like officer related shooting. I was like, what is he doing? And then he started crying and felt
that's very like you would expect that of him. Yeah. As much as he was always like, I'm a police officer.
Yeah, but I was just so annoyed by that. I was like, what are you doing, dude? Who are you writing this to? And then, you know, so it did fit him, but it was highly
And then annoying. I wrote, Maggie is going to hate it, LOL. And the whole time I was like, Maggie is going to hate this book.
It wasn't my favorite. I didn't hate it. I wouldn't personally recommend it, but I don't feel like I wasted my time, if that makes sense.
Ooh, I have a recommendation of something I read before I put this away.
Is it scary?
It's under the fiction mystery genre. I wouldn't say it's scary. It's, I don't know.
All right.
It's a mystery.
Okay.
So it's called Strange Sally Diamond by Liz Nugent. It's good stuff.
Strange Sally Diamond? Okay.
A woman with autistic traits finds herself with more attention than she wants after a misunderstanding. This leads to an unlocked secret that turns into a disturbing wormhole.
Oh.
It was good stuff.
Okay.
The ending I was a little like, but the entire journey was really good.
All right.
I highly recommend it.
Okay. Yeah. I might have to check that out. We're still in like the fall Halloween vibe, so it sounds like a good read.
It'll give you that. It's I think for people who are a little sensitive to survivor stories, probably want to pass this one up. If you're sensitive to topics that involve essay in any way, it's not extremely descriptive.
Okay, I was like, well, I'm extremely sensitive to that. Maybe I need to stay away from this, but
I don't think
it's not that bad.
No, it's more like a trigger warning.
Oh, okay.
You know, if that's something that bothers you and would make you uncomfortable, then probably don't read it. But it's not descriptive.
Okay.
It's just part of something that happens in the story.
Okay.
So, just so people know.
All right, cool. So yeah, episode 13. If you guys want to read it, you know, check it out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can't give that a strong thumbs up, but hey, check it out if you'd like.
All right, I'm gonna have a little sip here.
Go ahead, have a little sippy
sip. A little ASMR for all of our listeners.
I just realized we didn't really explain our costumes. So if you are listening to us on audio, highly recommend that you check us out on YouTube because we do dress for the occasion.
Always.
So who are you?
I am Lydia Deetz from Beetlejuice.
So cute. And her marriage scene.
Yes, in the red wedding dress, basically.
Love it. Love it.
Do I look dead?
A little bit, yeah. And I am Medusa. So do you know the real story of Medusa?
I think I do, but go ahead.
Okay. So Medusa obviously was cursed by the goddess Athena and had a hair full of snakes, which some people say that they may have been dreadlocks, but that's a whole different rabbit hole that I won't really get into. And if she looked at someone in the eyes, men, basically they would turn to stone. But how she became that way is because Athena cursed her because she was basically essayed by a god Poseidon in Athena's temple. Poseidon was trying to push up on her. She was trying to withdraw, be a virgin and everything. So she ran to Athena's temple, who was her goddess, who she was seeking protection from. Athena wasn't there. Poseidon took her there. Athena got back, realized her temple had been defiled, and basically men will be men and punish Medusa.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not what I heard.
That I've heard a lot of different controversies, but that's the first time. That's why I'm like, do you know the story? Because people just see her as like this hideous monster, but they don't really talk about how she became that way. Some people say that he seduced her and that they had a love affair, and then others was like, it was not consensual. Like he just did whatever he wanted to do. So
which makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. The version that I heard is that Poseidon and Athena had a thing, and that Medusa was his side chick, and then out of jealousy, Athena cursed her to make her look hideous, but then made it so that nobody would actually be able to look at her. So she basically was still beautiful, but if you looked at her, you would turn to stone, meaning nobody would be able to admire her beauty.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell.
It is.
Either way, she got the short end of the stick.
For sure. Yeah.
Regardless.
Facts.
Do you want to try a piece of candy?
Of course. You know what I had my eye on? Something that I know that you're not going to be intrigued on are the dots.
Try those, actually. They're very similar, but I love to see. They're like a sour version of it.
Are they like really sour? Have you had one? How did I fall for that?
I don't know. I didn't think you would.
How did I fall for that? The first thing I thought was like, what kind of generic shit is this? Like, it doesn't have like a company name on it. And then it came off kind of hard.
I did not think you were going to fall for that.
Well, I did.
I have had that for like a year.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
All right, I'm not going to try to put
No, you don't have to close it. That's so funny. Because I thought you were going to be like, ha ha ha, nice try.
Nope, I totally walked into that one.
That is so funny.
Is it really sour? How would you know? Because you don't like gumdrops.
Let the record show Maggie has been drinking a lot longer than me.
At least I have an excuse.
I got the sour worms, twin worms. They're really good. And what do you have dots?
I have dots. Yeah. Classic.
ASMR for you audio listeners. Okay, let me get the...
You're holding your worms like a cigarette over there.
I do have a little spooky story. It's very short. So I found my way onto like some nurse threads where they talk about paranormal, spooky activity that happened in places where they worked. So it's from allnurses.com. So it says, I worked my way through nursing school as a housekeeper / security. One time, the other man on security got a call from the nurses in the LTC, I don't know what that stands for, LTC floor of the hospital. They said they needed help because there was a ghost. Like the night housekeeper is going to be able to help you. So he asked her what kind of ghost was it. She wasn't sure what he meant. He asked her if she could see through it. She said yes. He said, then it can't grab you, so don't worry about it. Now, if you can't see through it, maybe there's something I can do. The nurses weren't amused, but I think it's funny. So funny.
I wasn't expecting that at all.
That's hilarious. He's such a jerk. It's like, if it's a person, call me. If it's not a person, there's not. What do you want me to do? What am I gonna do? Call somebody else.
Right.
Call Ghostbusters.
Oh man.
This is a real spooky story. It's called The Phantom Pediatrician. I'll never forget this experience from my early days as a pediatric nurse, working in one of the oldest wings of the hospital. During the night shift, I witnessed something that still puzzles me to this day. Children, who are generally extraordinarily perceptive, began noticing an unexplained presence precisely around 6 in the morning. Several of them, unprompted, with striking consistency, asked about the doctor who had just visited. They described him as a tall figure with gray hair, glasses, and always wearing a white coat. Eventually, I had to ask my colleagues about this mysterious man. Oh, that sounds like Dr. So-and-so, they said nonchalantly. He used to work here, but he passed away some time ago. We believe he's still making rounds, checking in on children. I had never seen any pictures of this doctor. Yet every child recounted the same image. It was an eerie realization that perhaps those we've lost continue to watch over their charges, existing in space between our reality and theirs. Cool, huh?
It's kind of sweet.
Yeah.
He's not tormenting the kids, so it's nice that he's still...
Yeah, I mean, there were some, like, really strange things that have happened in hospitals. I'm sure hospitals are just filled with
absolutely. Yeah.
Weird stuff.
I don't ever want to work in a hospital. Shout out to any of you who work in a hospital. Y'all some real ones.
Yeah.
I don't think it's an environment I could see myself in 8 to 12 hours a day.
A lot of them were talking about like ICU and stuff. There seemed to be a theme of a lot of spooky stuff in ICU.
I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you have any special plans for this Halloween?
No. Just with all the hurricane stuff, I'm just keeping it low key.
Yeah, that really threw everything off.
It did.
Milton did a number on.
Mm-hmm. And then in terms of trick-or-treating, last year we went to a neighborhood that's really known for elaborate decorations and just a really great time. But I guess word has really gotten out, and they have so many kids that last year they were only giving out one piece of candy per kid, but you basically had to wait in line.
Oh.
Yeah. Like, imagine how it is if you go to the mall or something like that and you just kind of like waiting in the queue. It felt like that.
Oh, okay.
But in Florida, where it's hot and humid and sticky,
it's different.
It's just not an enjoyable time to have your kid just standing there waiting in line to get a piece of candy. So I'm hoping this year they will be more inclined to like stay home, watch some spooky movies.
Girl, they're gonna go trick-or-treating. Don't even soup yourself up for that.
I don't want to go.
Kids are gonna go trick-or-treating.
I know, but you know, and they're so
Girl
tall.
can dream, I guess.
Like, you guys look like high schoolers.
As long as they're still dressing up in costumes, that's fine.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna do trick-or-treating in our neighborhood like usual. We have a lot of trick-or-treaters in the neighborhood. So
fun.
One son is gonna be a police officer and the other wants to be a bird. So that's gonna be a very interesting costume to make. Like a raven.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's going to be a lot of fun.
It's going to be a lot of fun. So, yeah.
Nice.
Still looking up Pinterest ideas. And if any of the besties have any ideas, I will accept them. So,
yeah. You got a little bit of time.
I do, yeah. So, that's what's going on with the costumes. Now, last year, if you guys were listening, which, again, go check out that episode, we talked about our favorite Halloween movies. And so we don't want to do a huge repeat of that and do the same thing year after year. And given that it's our anniversary, we just kind of want to reflect a little bit on how we're doing. So we first used to record in the back table.
Anchor style.
We definitely look like some news anchors. And we eventually moved over to the couch, which feels good for us.
It's a lot more comfortable.
It is. Yeah. Feels more natural, like we're all engaging in a conversation together.
Right. Yeah. Just from when we started, from the gear that we use, the camera, the audio, which you've given me a shout out before.
Absolutely.
On the improvement, but it has been a major journey. But where we are now, I feel like we're in our groove. Just the cameras, we know how to operate them, the audio, like, knock on wood.
And by we know, she means she knows. Yeah.
At least from the technical aspect of it, I feel like I'm in my groove. Now, that doesn't mean that hiccups haven't happened.
Sure.
Like, just a couple of months ago, the hard drive failed and I lost all the video, but luckily I still had everything on the memory card for audio. So there are things that just happen and you have to go with the flow, but ultimately we're just doing it to have fun, have an excuse to hang out. I can say that it's a lot different when you say things just out loud, you know, like your goals and your aspirations. There just feels like a higher level of accountability.
For sure.
Which is nice. I mean, it doesn't put that much pressure on it because it's still got a lot of work to do. But it's nice to have some accountability and have people be like, oh, so how is that going?
Right.
When I haven't talked about it. And I'm like, oh,
yeah.
It's going. It's going.
Y'all were listening. I did say that, didn't I?
Yeah. And I have started reading passionately, and it's really, really great.
Yeah.
Like, I fell into this rut where I just didn't really know what I wanted to read. And then, you read one good book and then you read a few and you're just like, what's the point? Mm-hmm. But where I am now, and especially with the genres that we've been reading the last few book clubs, like the suspense mystery is definitely what's up.
That's in your bag, yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. You guys know I love me some spicy books.
Right.
But I'm not always in the mood for the spice.
Right.
Sometimes I want that mystery.
Yeah.
And it's really good. I'm here for all the reading that we've been doing.
Yeah.
It's so enjoyable.
It's been a good journey. We've, again, those of you guys who have been listening for a while, you've noticed that we've changed some different things. We've, changed our format a little bit. We've updated our games and switched out our games and tried out some segments and didn't. So, like, we're really trying to create a show that we would both want to listen to, and then also that you guys are interested in listening to or watching too. So we've had a lot of changes. We're clearly not afraid of changing. Like, we will switch something up on a whim. Yeah. And I think that's a good thing. That's something that we want to continue doing. We don't ever want it to get to a point to where we're just sitting down recording just to have something to do. It's got to be enjoyable for us too. So it's been a really, really interesting year. Yeah. Can't believe it's been a year. But it's been so much fun. I feel like we've grown so much. We've learned so much. Still a lot more to learn for sure. And thank you guys for hanging around with like our little glitches that we have. Like typically, like we've had some issues with the audio uploading. So those of you who listen to audio only, on YouTube specifically, some weeks it ports over and sometimes it doesn't cross over. So you may catch it a day or two later, when get a chance to upload it. But
you've been loyal. Regardless of when it posts, you guys are here for it. Yeah. So we love that, and we're very appreciative, and we look forward to another year.
Absolutely.
Now that we've gotten the haunted house out of the way, I am very much looking forward to actually being able to possibly have the phone out and be able to give you guys some footage of us at like a Halloween Horror Nights or something like that, and doing more. Yeah. And growing, and we're definitely open to suggestions and whatever it is that you have.
Right,
that
absolutely.
We can do and try.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's been a good time. Yeah. Happy anniversary, teams.
Happy anniversary, Max.
Yay! And happy Halloween, besties. Yes. Be safe and enjoy yourselves out there. If you celebrate, and if you don't, no worries. Just shut your light off and enjoy the night.
All right, besties. Well, we will see you in the next episode, marking the first episode of our second year. Ooh. And we are very excited to see you there. And and for our next book club, we will be reading The Fury by Alex
Michaelides.
Michaelides. Something like that.
Michaelides, yes, I believe it's.
So we'll be reading that. So make sure you get that book, get on the waiting list, whatever you need to do, because at the end of November, we will be reading The Fury.
Yep.
So
check it out, guys.
All right, besties. We will see you in the next episode.
Bye.
Bye.
That's what a year feels like.
It just went by so fast.
We haven't sat here since that last year either.
I know.
Oh. That did go by really fast.